Okay, very briefly.
Oh, sorry. I want to give you space.
I want to first salute the Ugandan opposition for the solidarity. Ugandan members of the bar, that is the legal councils, who have teamed up to represent Kizza Besigye and Mr. Lutale. That solidarity is needed in the wake of aggression and dictatorial tendencies. Now, you have witnessed for yourself, for the longest time when we started this press conference, a military police vehicle standing here with the siren on to obstruct. It has now moved away. You can see it has not gone anywhere. It is now neatly parked. Why couldn't they park to give us silence before? These are the forms of aggression happening daily, from obstruction to access. Yes, I was denied the certificate to practice by the Law Council. I am contesting that, not for myself. As my colleagues have said, what we are pushing is the right of Dr. Kizza Besigye and Mr. Lutale to have a team of lawyers of their choice and to have a lead counsel of their choice. That is what we shall be pushing, and that is what the Law Council must consider. Not about me, but the right to counsel and counsels of choice. I want to say that beyond counsel of choice, even with the denial of the license, I appeared today as a jurist from Jumuiya to observe the proceedings. And because I remain a lawyer, whether the Law Council approves my license or not, I am at liberty to wear my attire to identify myself as a lawyer. And therefore, I came robed. My robes are not a criminal offense. My robes are a result of the training I have had. And nobody can strip me of my robes unless if I commit a criminal offense, which I have not. We are here today joined by a fellow jurist from Kenya. Let him just say his name and one word, and then a jurist from Angola will identify herself.
Kieme Gisheru is my name, an advocate of the High Court in Nairobi. I have put in my application to the Law Council to be enjoined into this matter. And we are going to follow it up until it is done. We are going to comply, we are going to appeal, we are going to push until it is granted. There's an issue that I'd like to address. Being in Jumuiya, we are very intertwined. There's something that has started happening in Nairobi, which we never had seen. Masked men abducting people at night, and we have had many killings in Nairobi, having masked men roam around during protests. Now we've realized where the source is. And that's why we are here, to root it out from the source. We have never seen this in Nairobi. We have never seen this since the regime back in Nairobi started. But it's been here. And this is why we are here, to root out this ill in society. Kieme Gisheru.
Kieme Gisheru.
Kieme Gisheru.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
A word from my sister from Angola, a human rights jurist from Angola.
Hi everyone. I came here as an observer for this trial, this court session. As you may be aware, trial observation is an instrument to ensure human rights to fair trial and access to justice. So I will not get into the details of the session, but I would also add that my presence is a sign of solidarity, is a sign of there is a need for us as human rights defenders in Africa to join and be together, raise our voices, be creative as well, and stand up against brutality, against authoritarian regimes, and defend the rule of law which is the basis for guarantee human rights. So my presence here is to support all those lawyers, professionals, human rights defenders, but also be before the court and make the court accountable to the principles of the rule of law. Thank you.
Okay, finally, I just want to say to the Law Council, kindly, no double standards. If you could allow the President, Yoweri Museveni, to bring Kaminwa from Kenya, Dr. Kaminwa, my senior, for a civil matter, a criminal matter is more serious than a civil matter. That involves
that in the strongest terms possible, and we have urged the chairman of this military tribunal that if this is not to be projected as the kangaroo military tribunal it is, then they should restrain members of the UPDF from abducting members of our team. That is not the first threat against our members of our team. We have been ignoring some signs of intimidation or directed towards the defense team, and we shall continue to ignore those methods. But we must assert the right of the accused to a fair hearing, to a fair representation, to dignified treatment, to their liberties as guaranteed by the 1995 Ugandan Constitution. And we are not intimidated, we are not bullied. We shall come here in this military barracks surrounded by soldiers and continue to do the work of representing our people. We have also the grievance of being denied where to sit. Most of our lawyers today were not able even to get seats, and we have not even concluded the issue of representation because both the military tribunal is in cahoots with Museveni and the Law Council of Uganda, and illegally trying to block the visiting jurists from Kenya from representing Besigye, contrary to his sacrosanct right to choose who represents him as a lawyer, how many lawyers represent him. So we are going to continue fighting these battles on all fronts. There is an all-out legal war against the injustice that has been meted out against our clients, and we shall keep you posted. Thank you very much.
As NUP, we have had several of our supporters that have been persecuted by this court and several other opposition leaders. Now it is Dr. Kizza Besigye. We are saying we are united against this injustice, and that's why we are here. To say no to this injustice, to say human rights must be respected. It is not okay. And they want to make it okay that they can persecute some of us and the rest of us move on as if it's business as usual. No. And we're calling upon all Ugandans out there. This should actually not just be a matter of the opposition. Some colleagues in the NRM have been persecuted, arrested and so on. So any lover of human rights in this our country, any lover of peace should be behind the quest to see that we clip the wings of this military court. It should cease to operate the way it does. Olunaku olwaleero mu nsi yonna tujjukira ekiyitibwa International Human Rights Day kubanga UN General Assembly yagazetinga olunaku luno. Kitegeeza nti tuba tulina kubanga tujaguza nti eddembe ly'obuntu litwalibwanga ekikulu, naye tuli wano ku lunaku luno olwa International Human Rights Day kubanga ate eddembe ly'abannaffe abamu lityoboolebwa. Eddembe lya Dr. Kizza Besigye, Haji Obed Kamulegeya ne bannayuganda abalala abazze batulugunyizibwa kkooti eno. Kirungi nti ffe nga ab'opposition tuzze katutandise okukwatira awamu ku nsonga zino netugamba nti bwe munaatulugunya omu ku ffe, ffenna kijja tukwatako kubanga kyekize kitubeerako ffenna abawagizi baffe nga NUP bazze batulugunyizibwa kkooti eno ne bannayuganda abalala. Era nga tukuba omulanga eri bannayuganda tewetaaga kubeerawo opposition n'aba NRM namwe bajja batulugunya olunaku lwammwe lujja kutuuka bwe mutaasitukiremu ne mugaa nti eddembe ly'abannansi lirina okuteekebwa mu nkola era okutwalibwa ng'ekikulu. Mwebale nnyo. General Muntu. You want to come in the middle maybe here?
Well, let me first thank the defense lawyer for standing firm and together to ensure Besigye and Haji Obed Kamrege that their rights to choose who represents them stands. I think today the statement the defense has made is good, and all peace-loving Ugandans, all Ugandans who want to see the rule of law need to understand that. 2001, when General Museveni had an electoral case in court, he was represented by Kaminwa. Kaminwa is a Kenyan. He had 100 lawyers on his team. There's precedent. 2 weeks ago, I saw a panel of leaders of East Africa, presidents. General Museveni was one of them. Integration. I saw him doing analysis of what has caused weakness on this continent, and he was referring to the chiefs of the past, which he does all the time. For East Africa to be united, for Africa to be united, leadership at the top is very, very critical. You walk the talk. You don't say all the nice things, and your actions contradict what you talk about in public. There's absolutely no reason why, when Dr. Chiza Besigye and Haji Obedi Kamrege choose to have Honorable Martha Karua to be the lead counsel, and it becomes a problem. I absolutely don't see any reason why. Every cloud has a silver lining. Our colleagues now are going to be in prison maybe for the next, now by 7th of January, it could have been like 2 months. Of course, they're going through a lot of pain. The silver lining in that you stood firm, keeps on exposing this government to masquerade in life is not good. When you are masquerading, the longer a process takes, the more your real colors come out. Because people see contradiction between theory, what you talk about, and practice, what you do. So much as the two colleagues are going to suffer, it's good that time keeps on exposing these people in government. My advice, those who are in government, many of whom are colleagues because we serve together, no government is permanent. All of them leave power at some point. So I keep repeating what I keep raising all the time. When you arrest a retired officer, Major Iduri, he served honorably in the military. He retired. He has a right to represent whoever contracts him to represent him. I would like to ask all the officers who are in uniform, including the generals at the top, what do you think? When you honorably serve, many of them have been shot at, many of them have been wounded. They have continued serving this country because many of them love to see justice, love to see peace, love to see a country which is developing. But when you have served and you have left, your own colleagues who are still in uniform come and treat you the way they treated that major. With you. What does that mean to you who are still in uniform? What does that mean? That you make sacrifices for a country. That even when you get out of uniform, you have got rights like any other individual. You don't have to be on the side of the regime. You do whatever you want to do. That's the country we want to see. My advice, those who are in government, be sure that as day follows night, there's going to be a day when you want to be in those offices. I appeal to you, do things now when you are still in government that will enable you to leave uniform and offices, ministries, whatever, so that you can find a country where there is justice. Whatever you are doing, that you have got rights and freedoms that are going to be protected by the law, not by any individual. Not by any individual.